Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Mad Tinkerer Gaming with me, Travis. Today I'm going to be doing a fat pack opening. Now they're probably called something different nowadays. I think there was a big deal about them being named fat packs and they've been changed to them. But this is some old school stuff that we managed to acquire. And we're hoping that we pull something cool out of it. Now I'm going to show you what we've got. We pulled up a Theros fat pack. Ta-da! There it is. We've got one of these. We're going to open that puppy. And we also have a Scars of Mirrodin. This is going to be one that we'll open at a later date. It's got the more valuable cards in it right now. I think everybody's after it because of the Mox Opal, I believe is the big card in it. Hoping to pull something cool out of that. But today, because I want to keep people interested and to come back to see the Scars of Mirrodin opening box, we're going to open the Theros. Now, Theros doesn't have as high dollar cards in it as the Scars of Mirrodin, but guess what? It still has some cool stuff in it. It was when the gods were first introduced into the game. I believe like Perforos and Erebos and Thassa. Really cool entities which revolved around a mechanic where you had to have permanents out with the converted mana cost that leveled up to like 5. Like if you had Erebos out, you had to have 5 black mana symbols on your creatures, and then he would turn into a creature, and they were normally indestructible and big beefy guys, so they were really cool. There are also some other little lands and a couple of planeswalkers in this set, like Ashiok and Elspeth, and I think that we're going to open this up, and I'm hoping we pull something good, and my hope is that we can take these and then turn around and sell them on eBay. That's where I will probably end up with most of these. We've been taking them to the local game stores, trying to trade them in for things that we want to make decks with, and I will probably do a deck tech about a deck that I want to try to build. Scepter Silence. It's an older deck, but I'm hoping it's still pretty effective, and I'm going to build it so I can sit around and play Modern with some of my friends on occasion. Okay, everybody, we're back. Here we go. We're going to pop this over now that I've changed the camera, and slowly open this thing up so that we can. Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to open this sucker up. Now, these ones include 9 booster packs in them. If you have never seen a fat pack or whatever they're called nowadays, they are normally pretty well done. They've got a nice box setting, some pretty artwork on it. When you slide them out of the sleeve, if you open this up right here, there is an actual big piece of artwork on the inside. Let me show you here. Get the little glue off. And it was normally a massive piece of artwork. Like this one right here has Elspeth on it over a dragon. Now these were really cool. You could hang them up, do them as little wall posters or whatever. And I enjoyed having these when I was younger. So we're going to take that and set it off to the side. In here you would have a Theros Player's Guide. Now these are really good because you're not probably going to get everything you want out of your fat pack. But inside here it talks about the gods, the monsters of myth, the time of heroes, gift from the divine. So this tells you a little bit about the set, about how to play the set or build certain things out of it, how to look for the different stuff that's in it. And the big thing was it talks about the different gods. And when you get back here far enough, boom, it's your card list. Theros Card Encyclopedia. It gives you everything that's in the set, all the different cards. So if you can and you're just wanting to figure this stuff out and keep track of where to find cards, I mean, you can always look it up online nowadays. But sometimes people like to collect these and just put them together so that you know what cards are in the set. And it's an easy reference guide. I mean, it's small. You can put them all in a binder or whatever, and boom, you've got a bunch of them. Now, this is your box. Every fat pack came with a box. It has beautiful artwork on the sides of it. Normally it's the same thing on each side. This looks like Elspeth to me. So we're going to slide this open here, and I'll show you what's inside the fat pack. Now you've got little holders there that really aren't that important. But inside here you're going to have a packet of land. All of them came with a packet of land, and it's got 4 packs attached to it. So you're going to have a land pack. This comes with 9 total packs of cards, and it comes with a dice. The dice has the set logo in it. This one's a white dice. Back in the day had random colored dice in here, so you might get a blue, black, whatever. And it comes with 2 mini deck boxes. So you can just pop these up, and each one of these has a character on it. Like this one has Elspeth, and I believe this is Xenaghost, the Reveler. Now, they're really cool. You can just keep them in your box here. And these boxes are nice because they let you put exactly what you opened out of your fat pack in there and just store them. Now, I might go ahead and pop these boxes together because it'll save a little space in here. So here we go. I'm going to snap them together, and we can put our rares and stuff in here that we're going to sell later on. But there's one of them with him on it. It's an easy assemble. And I mean, it's just good stuff to be able to stick stuff in later on. All your excess you can put out to the side. But there we go. There's our box. Now, here we go. We're getting into the openings here. Now I'm going to try to slice this down through here so we don't cut into anything important. But I'll show you the land pack here. And let you all see the stuff. Now that we've got this nice setup that we've got, you don't have to worry about not seeing us opening them on the actual thing. Let me get this opened up right here, and we'll get the dice out. Now, inside here, you've got a little Magic the Gathering information booklet, and it should discuss rules and how to set up your game and what mana costs are. It'll tell you a little bit about everything, which is useful information when you're in here. You get this little piece right here in most of the old fat packs, and it just gives you a basic overview of the game. Now we're looking at 9 packs. Alright, 9 packs of cards. Here's your dice. It's a spin down dice, which can be used as a life counter in the game. It comes with the Theros mana symbol on it. This is a white die. I've personally been collecting the black dice up for a long time, so I have a bunch of them. Now, this is just a land pack. It's basic land. It's not full art lands like you got in some of the packs before. So I'm just going to keep it sealed. There's no point in opening it up because it's just a bunch of extra land. And I'd rather just, if we try to sell it or whatever, just sell it as a land pack for $2 or $3, whatever they go for nowadays. Now, on to our opening. Here we go, guys. Now, in this set, like I said, the gods were the big thing. I believe Theros is one of the big cards. But there's also a card in here called Thoughtseize. Now, Thoughtseize is a really wonderful card. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a couple extra of those. It's a black card, 1 black, which you look at your opponent's hand for the cost of 2 life. And the black mana you paid, you make them discard something. It's really cool. It's an instant. So, we are going to crack these open.
I can get you a shirt.
Now, here we go. This right here is the start of our stuff. This is a black card. It's called Grave Merchant of Asphodel. Now, this is the mechanic that everybody was talking about. When Grave Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. This was devotion. Devotion was what I was referring to. I'd forgot what the name of the mechanic is. But for every black mana symbol you had up in here, like this has 2 black, if it's out on the field, the devotion cost is what it is. So as soon as you play this, everybody's going to lose at least 2 life, and you're going to gain 2 life. Not to mention every other black mana symbol you have out on the field. This was a really cool card. Mono black devotion was really big back in the day, and I think mono green devotion is big now. There were a lot of good cards that based themselves around devotion in this set. And we're going to scroll back here to get to the uncommons. Here we go. Uncommons. We have a Dissolve, which is counter target spell, scry 1. We have a Brush Strider Heart, which is pay 3, sacrifice Brush Strider Heart, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle your library. Here is Spellheart Chimera. It's a flying trampling. Spellheart Chimera's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Now this would be a really cool Drake mechanic kind of card. So, I mean, it's red-blue. It would fit right in with Drakes if you don't have Drakes. Now, here is another cool thing. These are enchantment creatures. This is our rare. It's called Celestial Archon. It's a flying first striking. Our enchanted creature gets +4/+4 and has flying and first strike. Now, what you can do, instead of paying the 2 white and 3 and having it come out as a 4/4 flying first striker itself, you could pay the bestow cost. Bestow was a mechanic introduced in this set, and the bestow cost for this one was 2 white and 5, and then you put it on a creature to give it that boost of 4/4 flying and first strike. And we just have a basic land and a poor token. Next box, or next pack. Yeah, next box. It'd be nice to have boxes of this stuff sitting around. Alright. We're going to go through the commons here and just get rid of them real quick, because, you know, it looks like we got a foil back here in the back, so we'll see what that is. Alright. We have red uncommon called Magma Jet, and its Magma Jet deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and you scry 2 cards. Now, the scry mechanic is look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them on the bottom of your library and the rest on top in any order. And you would do that if it says scry 2, that's why this said 2 cards, it might be just scry 1. You would do that with 1 card. The next uncommon is Sardir Piper. It's pay 1 green and 3. Target creature must be blocked this turn if able. Here's the Decorated Griffin. It's a flying. You pay 1 white and 1 colorless. Prevent the next 1 combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. And I guess you can pay that multiple times. If you got a whole bunch of mana, boom, you're golden. Here's our rare. It's called Curse of the Swine. It's exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller puts a 2/2 green boar creature token onto the battlefield. So, I mean, for 2 blue and X, you get to get rid of a bunch of permanents and get a whole lot of other stuff. Well, alright guys, we got a foil rare. It's called Chain to the Rock. It's Enchant Mountain you control. Okay, so you have to put this on a mountain you control. When Chained to the Rock enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Chained to the Rock leaves the battlefield. So if you're running mountains like a red-white, you play this on one of your mountains, they lose a creature. And it's just 1 white mana, and this aura stays on the field permanently. So that's really nice to have that as a foil rare. And we got a forest and another little token card that's not worth anything. Next pack. Alright, here we go. Let's get to the uncommons here. Ordeal of Erebos. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then if it has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, sacrifice Ordeal of Erebos. When you sacrifice Ordeal of Erebos, target player discards 2 cards. So this is a quick way to get something a good pump. I mean, you put it on something, it's 2 to play it, and the creature's going to get 1/1 every time it attacks until it's got 3 counters on it. Then this dies, your opponent discards 2 cards. That seems a lot better than what it was when it was out in play. Here we have Kragma Warcaller. It's a Minotaur. Minotaur creatures you control have haste. Whenever a Minotaur you control attacks, it gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. Now this was, back in the day, Red-Black Minotaurs was a small deck. It didn't take off as well as it should have, but I mean, it's pretty fun. Here we go, Flamespeaker Adept. When you scry Flamespeaker Adept, gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until the end of turn. So you could do red-blue scrying stuff, and this guy would beef up really good. Here's our rare. It's Hammer of Perforos. Creatures you control have haste. It's pay 1 red and 2. Tap it. Sacrifice a land. Put a 3/3 colorless golem enchantment artifact creature token onto the battlefield. So you just sack a land and boom, you get a 3. What is it? A 3/3? Yeah, a 3/3 elemental. So that's really nice. You get a mountain and a token card. Now that would be really good when you have Perforos. So I'm hoping we pull a Perforos out of this. That would be nice. We haven't seen a mythic yet, I don't believe. It'd be nice to get a mythic foil. I'll just go ahead and throw away that token since it doesn't mean anything and nobody's going to care about it. They were just not important back in the day. There aren't even tokens to play. Sea God's Revenge. Return up to 3 target creatures your opponent controls to the owner's hand. Scry 1. So that's really good. Until end of turn, up to 2 target creatures you control each gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So that's pretty nice. The card's called Warrior's Lesson. Alright, Cutthroat Maneuver. Up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until the end of turn. That's overly costful, but good instant. Here's a rare. All right, Sylvan Carroted. Now this is a good card. This should probably be in about any green deck right now if you're running Modern. It's a Defender, Hexproof, and it taps. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's a 0/3, so it's got a little bit bigger defense than your basic mana doinkers. But hey, you know, this thing's good. It's can't be targeted, so once it hits the field, they can't get rid of it unless they do a mass kill. That's a good rare. And we have a foil Demolish. Destroy target artifact or land. There we go. I think that's been reprinted in the new set, so that's good. And we get a swamp. I always liked land destruction, so that foil Demolish is a little special place right there in my heart. I always liked red-green land destruction, and I like mono-black land destruction. But when you play those at tournaments, people tend to not like you very well. Nobody likes to have their lands blown up. Alright, here is Dissolve. Counter target spell, scry 1. It's 2 blue and 1. It's a really good counter spell. Destroy target mountain. Peak Eruption deals 3 damage to that land's controller. So the card's called Peak Eruption. Dauntless Onslaught. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. So that's a good defensive mechanism. Oh, here we go. Here's a god. We pulled the Black God, one of my favorite ones. So it's really cool. Now this guy is named Erebos, God of the Dead. He is an indestructible entity. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebos isn't a creature. So you have to have 5 black mana symbols out on the board, and then this guy becomes a 5/7. And it's your opponents can't gain life. It's a continual effect as long as he's on the field. He's a legendary enchantment creature, so as long as he's on the field, your opponents can't gain any life. Pay 1 black and 1, pay 2 life, draw a card. So, I mean, he's very good. That's a great mythic. I'll put that right here in the rare slot because I didn't save a space. And we get a foil out of the pack, too. A Crowan Crusade. It's heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a Crowan Crusader, put a 1/1 red soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield. Boom. Get a forest, and we actually get a real token this time. So I'll put that in here with the foils. Put it at the bottom so it doesn't cover those foils up while you're looking at them. So that's really good. We did get a god. I like that god. That's one of my favorite ones. I liked it and Perforos, of course. But I like black better. I play black, black blue, black white. Thassa would be another good one for me. I liked Thassa. Another Dissolve. So got some good counter spells. Another Burnished Heart. Sentry of the Underworld. It's a white-black creature. It's flying vigilance. Pay 1 white, 1 black, pay 3 life, and you regenerate it. So, I mean, you can continually keep this guy out here, and he's a 3/3 flyer. That's a bit high of a cost to me, having to give up 3 life to keep him on the field. Alright, here's our rare from this one. Gift of the Immortal. It's an enchant creature. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So, I mean, when the creature dies, it comes back to the battlefield, and at the next end step, this comes back from the graveyard and goes right back on the creature. So, it creates an endless cycle of a non-dying creature. Alright, another soldier token and a mountain. That's that red soldier that we just heard about from this Crowan Crusader. So, I mean, we got the red soldier and the foil Crowan Crusader. Alright, let's see if we can get one more good mythic out of these. We still got 3 packs to go, counting this one right here. Alright. Hunt the Hunter. Target green creature you control gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. It fights target green creature an opponent controls. Keepsake Gorgon. It's a death-touching creature. Pay 2 and 5, and it gets Monstrosity 1. Monstrosity says if this creature isn't monstrous, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it becomes monstrous. And then down here is your effect when they become monstrous. When Keepsake Gorgon becomes monstrous, destroy target non-Gorgon creature and opponent controls. Now, monstrous was another mechanic from this set where you'd play a creature and then you could give it a beef and it would just become a huge creature and it would have an effect that it triggered when you made it monstrous. Witch's Eye. Equipped creature has pay 1, tap, and scry 1, and it's an equipment of 1. So this is a good artifact equipment. And here's a rare. Oh, Lord, no, this is bad. It's a Mist Cutter Hydra. Nobody played the Hydras back in the day. I mean, I guess Hydras hold a special place in Magic's heart, but they're just not very playable cards. Mistcutter Hydra can't be countered, though, so it did come into play for 1 green and X, whatever you decide to put on it. Mistcutter Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and it has haste and protection from blue. So right now, this might not be a very bad card playing in a modern field, because you can't counter it, and it can come into play and start beating down blue decks, which I hear are running pretty rampant now. We got 1 forest and another soldier token. So actually, Mistcutter Hydra seems like it would be a decent Hydra to play. I mean, it's cheap enough. You're not having to pay like double X for tokens. It's just whatever green and extra you've got. You get an uncounterable hasted protection from blue creature. That seems actually really good. I don't know why more people wouldn't play that Hydra. Alright, another Peak Eruption. We've seen that card already. Another Decorated Griffin. We've seen that one already. Alright, here's a new one. Fanatic of Mogus. Whenever Fanatic of Mogus enters the battlefield, it deals damage to each opponent equal to your devotion to red. So this was a burn deck style creature. You'd put him into play. He's a 4/2, and I mean, as soon as he comes into play, for every red symbol you've got out there, guess what? You dealt that much damage to your opponent. And here is a rare. It's called Swan Song, and it's counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller puts a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield instead. So for 1 blue, you get to counter an enchantment, an instant, or a sorcery, and they get a 2/2 flying bird out of it. Not so bad if you have ways to deal with 2/2 flying birds. And we got a mountain. Alright, here's the last pack of Theros. Last pack of Theros. Alright. Well, we have got quite a bit of duplicate uncommons here. Burnished Heart, Ordeal of Heliod. I don't know if we've seen this or not. It's an enchant creature. When enchanted creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then, if it has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, sacrifice Ordeal of Heliod. Whenever you sacrifice Ordeal of Heliod, you gain 10 life. So that's just a good life gainer. Here's a Flame Speaker Shaman. It's the Scrying boosted Shaman. So now let's see what a rare is. Alright, we got another god, a second god. Now this one is Nelia. This is the one that seems to be holding its ground fairly well, because I believe Devotion to Green was a big thing here a little while back. It may have gone down a little bit, but she is a legendary enchantment creature. She's indestructible, the same as Erebos. As long as your Devotion to Green is less than 5, Nelia isn't a creature. When she is a creature, well, even when she's not a creature, other creatures you control have trample. And it's pay 1 green and 3, target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. So even if she's sitting out on the field, not as a creature right now, you know, other things you have trample, and you can boost them by +2/+2 for 4 mana. So I mean, you pay for to put her out on the field, so you know you can give everything a 2/2 boost every turn at least. And once you have 5 Devotion to Green, hey, she becomes a 6/6 indestructible herself with trample. So that's a very good card. I like that. So we did pull 2 gods today, and it seems like, you know, that's a decent run here. So we got some foils here. We got a Crone Crusader. We got Demolish. And we got a foil rare, Chained to the Rocks. So that's pretty good. And then for our big cards here, our rares, we ended up with an Erebos and a Nelia. We ended up with Swan Song, Mistcutter Hydra, Gift of Immortality, Celestial Archon, and then we have a Sylvan Caryatid, a Hammer of Perforos, and a Curse of the Swan. So I mean, that's not bad. I think if I was going to rate these, in my opinion, as to the best playable things, of course, we've got your 2 gods. I believe this Hammer is good. After reading the Hydra, I think this is the next best card that we pulled today. I think these 4 right here are nice. We'll check pricing and stuff on those. We use TCG Player app on our phone. It seems to do pretty good. I think everybody we know uses TCG Player app. Oh, actually, I forgot the Sylvan Caryatid up here. So let's see here. We'll go about like this right here. I believe this right here is probably the build-up that's better. How about that? That seems better. The other rares down here, not so much. This right here seems to be the best layout. So of course Erebos, Milia, Sylvan Keratin, Hammer of Perforos, the Mistcutter Hydra, Chain to the Rocks, Demolish, a Crone Crusader, Swan Song, Gifted Immortality, Celestial Archon, and Curse of the Swine. And my wife's going to hate me for saying all that, so she'll have to edit it and splice it all together to make it sound really good. But this is the order I would set them in. I hope you've enjoyed this fat pack opening. You know, we're gonna, like I said, we've got a Scars of Mirrodin that we'll be opening probably a few days from now. And I am currently waiting to see if I can get some Force of Will in. I think I have a box of the brand new Strangers of New Valhalla coming this weekend, so I will be doing another Force of Will box opening. And I will probably take that last blue deck that we opened up, and I'm going to teach you how to deck tech that out and decide how to play that on my next video. But until then, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, click the like button down there, give me a thumbs up, you know what I mean? And subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed what you're seeing, and click that little bell icon so you know the next time I upload. I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 videos a week, but we'll see how it works out. Anyway, until next time, see you.